platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Oh, preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's not all that glitter is gold, and half the story had never been told. So now you see the light. You stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, oh, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right.
KBLA Talk 1580. Okay, I don't know what's going on today, but we will get there. There's technical difficulties all the way around. But look, the show goes on. Hopefully you heard yesterday, you know that KBLA Talk 1580 is your election information station. You know that, hopefully by now, you know that we just released our first ever polling that was focused on LA County black voters ahead of this election. It really shows, like I said yesterday, that we have a wide open race for the DA, and it goes in on black communities' views about crimes, criminal justice, and all kinds of other issues that are not being addressed in the mainstream media. So if you want to see it, I suggest that you go to KBLA1580.com. You'll see it there. You can. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that polling. And we intend to do this again and again. We intend to amplify black voices, not just by putting them on the radio, which is obviously part of what we do, but by taking these surveys and polls with black opinion and putting it out so that our voices cannot be ignored. So really excited about that, and I hope you get a chance to check it out, and we'll be continuously talking about it. I'm being joined today by an activist out of Chicago. He is on a mission to turn Black Chicago red. Mark Carter joins us. I would say a lot more about him, but when I ask for a bio, he says he's a regular guy. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Very good.
So let's, I think some folks have probably seen you. You've been on a lot of media. I've seen you on, OAN and Fox and a lot of the conservative outlets and also on Twitter Spaces, your own distribution. But let's talk to me about Mark Carter. Let's talk a little bit about you because from when I was researching, you started off as an activist in your activism piece, as an activist for people who are formerly incarcerated. Is that fair or no?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, definitely.
Okay, so tell me about that journey, how you you yourself were incarcerated, right?
Yes. As a young man growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, found my way into a life of crime. I left Memphis, Tennessee, moved here to Chicago, and around, I think about 89, I moved here as a young person. My father was living here at the time, who's since deceased. And just during those 90s, getting caught up in that life, I ended up in prison. Spent a few years there. Came home, and decided to turn my life around. And been home since 1998.
So a few years is what?
Now about 5 years. I did
5 years.
about 5
Okay.
years.
All right.
Yeah.
You came home in 98 and you decided to start a new chapter in your life.
Definitely. And started an organization called Vote, Voice of the Ex-Offenders, where we would begin to organize in and around the political process, and ended up in the construction industry, heavily in the construction industry, where some of the biggest criminals you can ever find are, along with these politicians here. And that basically opened my eyes to say to myself that, wait a minute, all the time we've been told that we were the criminals, but not only are these politicians and this construction industry criminal, but they are the very social engineers behind the reason why things ended up like they did for our people. And a lot of times we see the guys in the streets, but we don't see those in the suites.
So you're talking about you were doing your community organizing while working in construction, and you said you saw the criminal.
No, it was pretty much we began to protest in and around.
I got you. So it wasn't working. It was yes. Okay. So was that around black
activism.
jobs?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we were seeing that when these big construction sites happen with these federal funds, these city funds, that the community wasn't included. And starting an organization, Vote, a lot of us had spent time in prison in and around each other. We began to organize and protest these different sites, only to run into the relationships, the corrupt relationship between the Italian mob and these black politicians. And, it was just so shocking to know that what we were doing was child's play compared to the corruption and criminal behavior that they were engaged in. And so that then...
I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your sentence.
So that then led me to the politics of things, where I ended up at 33 years old, ran for city council for the first time, and then again in 2011, and then ended up becoming a construction company owner myself, and dibbing and dabbing a little bit in development. But it's been my mission and our mission to make sure that our children didn't go down the same road that we ended up going down as young people before our brains were fully developed. We just want to make sure that our children didn't have to go down that road. And so when we would protest sites, we put our young people to work. We put young men and women.
So it worked. Your protesting worked. Mm-hmm. You got folks on those jobs. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
And now that
thousands over the years.
And of course you know the ultimate, which is I'll just start my own company and do business how I see fit. And I assume that one of the things you do is employ black folks and folks who are formerly incarcerated.
And not just that, but we sued our housing authority and made them settle out for about $160 million with us that we took and split between I think about 113 companies we split that $163 million with. We sued the housing authority because they hadn't followed the law under the HUD Act of 1968, which opens doors for those who are less fortunate, living in public housing or just poor in and around the areas. And so that now rolled into even bigger contracts where we are doing work with the housing authority. In return, we are training and hiring people that once lived in public housing that just want to lift themselves up out of that type of environment, and we've been able to turn some lives around. So
that sounds like it. So when you refer to the corruption, I mean, can you give me an example of what you're talking about? In terms of locking out black businesses or black workers.
Yes. So Chicago is riddled with nepotism, cronyism, and patronage. If you're not connected, if you're not part of these secret societies, white or black, you don't get opportunities here. it would shock you to find out just how corrupt these Masons, Eastern Star sorority and fraternity members are in this city. I mean, this is one of the most corrupt cities you can ever live in. And all these politicians are in on it. White, black, Hispanic, they're all in on it, and they all Democrats. And they make sure that you don't get these opportunities unless you work for their little patronage armies, that you are part of their little groups or their families. And this goes for the pastors, too. The pastors are involved with this, some of these national organizations. And we're in the headquarters for 99% of the national organizations. I don't know if you all know, but Chicago
is a hub for sure. Chicago is a hub for sure. So, Mark Carter, at what point were you always like Republican this whole time? Were you a non-voter? Were you a Democrat who became a Republican? What was that journey like for you?
Well, being that the minute that I found out that not just getting involved with politics, that Chicago had been Democrat for now 76 years that black people have been voting for it. 96 years has been overall Democrat. I said to myself that if I'm getting involved with these politics, I definitely would not be voting for this Democrat Party because as a kid, you would often hear about the white racist Republican. But then only to find out that there are no Republicans in power in Chicago, period, in the city council. I'm talking about from the governor's mansion down to the municipal level. These are all Democrats, the House, the Senate, and not just Democrats, these are black Democrats.
So, right. So when you decided to, because I know you, I'm sure when you were living that life in the streets, you probably weren't a registered voter. I mean, maybe you were, I don't know. But at what point did you say, okay, I'm going to support the Republican Party, not only the Republican Party, I'm going, full MAGA here?
Well, the guy that brought me into activism, he was the Republican committeeman, and he would often, drop information on me, and I would, read things and just start paying attention to the world around me, and so that led me to look at that angle more so than this Democrat Party, and then it took me back to, being a young person in the community, and I literally the place. The corner that I stood on and sold drugs right across the street, when I remember back, there was a city councilman's office over there. And I can remember this guy clear as day when he would go or send his guys in and around the community with these tickets. And he was extorting the community, now that I remember, right? He was extorting the community, but he did it in a very humble and slick way, but he was basically extorting the community.
A humble and slick way, right.
Oh yeah, benevolent dictator is what he was. That's what I love to call him, a benevolent dictator, right? And he had all these people buying these tickets, and I said to myself that even then, I saw corruption, even when I wasn't paying attention to it. But and I'm not trying to leave out the fact that what we were doing wasn't wrong, right?
Right, that you were actually, doing criminal activity. But you're talking about criminal activity in the halls of power. I get that. I'm going to say that there's no one political party, no one region, no one race that has a lock on corruption. And certainly Republican Party has their fair share of it. I want to have you address that when we come forward. We're talking with Mark Carter. He is making a lot of noise nationally on conservative outlets and in the streets of Chicago. His mission, Turn Chicago Red. And also, okay, we got a lot to talk about. What will you get in return from the Republican Party and so much more. It's a Talking Point Tuesday. Mark Carter is my guest, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, As the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black History. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area, featuring a razor with patented irritation defense bar and skincare regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life.
Hewitt!
So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt!
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
All right, we got folks that already want to talk to you. We're talking with Mark Carter. He is an activist and a Black Republican out of Chicago doing a lot of organizing. And I said, you were talking about corruption and some of the issues you brought up, like Black folks being shut out of certain industries. Those are national issues, and certainly we see them playing out in Los Angeles. I want to get to the questions that I teed up, but I have a friend who's a union contractor who actually works with a lot of formerly incarcerated folks just like yourself, and says and wants to know, is it are you a union contractor, and are you and how do you go from being formerly incarcerated and reinventing your life to being in a position to even just buy an entire or own an entire firm?
Well, first of all, no, because I would never pay the Italian mob to work in my own community.
So no, you're not a union contractor.
No, would never pay the Italian mob to work in my community. Not going to happen. And we'll fight it tooth and nail.
So that that means you're paying workers less and giving them fewer benefits than a union.
No. We don't need unions to pay a prevailing wage. The law is set. We don't need unions for anything. We don't need them to oversee us.
Well, the minimum wage is set, not a union wage. But anyway, got it.
No, prevailing wage. The prevailing wage, which is oftentimes more than you get paid through the unions, right? You take home more. You get a chance to control your own benefit packages and things like that. We don't need them overseeing us.
Unions are made up of workers, but okay, got it. So, and how did you become wealthy enough to just have your own company?
Well, actually, those are the two things that really brought me to get more involved with the Republican Party. Their anti-union stance and their anti-immigration stance. And so those are two things that I agree with people like Trump on. Being a developer, I followed.
You agree with Trump that we should have an
unions are bad.
That unions are bad.
Yeah,
But then why was he
yeah, for
standing in
black
front of a rented auto plant pretending that he had, and actually hired people to pretend to be union workers to act like he had the support of the unions if he thinks unions are bad?
Well, you know, it's politics, and it's permissible for him to use them to his advantage.
But you don't mind that kind of corruption. You don't mind like Trump University or, you know,
it's
Jared
not corruption. I
Kushner
would call
getting
it
billions from
deception.
Saudi Arabia, or, you know, Trump using his foundation as a front to buy massive portraits of himself, or violating the emoluments clause by getting foreign countries to spend money at his hotel. I mean, those are the kinds of corrupt things that you're complaining about in Chicago politicians, but they don't bother you in Donald Trump.
Well, I'm not trying to get that deep off into it. I never heard those things. You just, just put it out there. But I'm not really trying to get that deep off into it. That's his business and how he.
Well, I mean, but you're
he,
complaining about
he,
corruption in politicians. I would think that you would hold your Republican politicians to the same high standards that you would want to hold Democrats to. Yeah.
Yes.
But yet you plan to vote for you, but you're going to vote for him in 2024, right?
Oh yes.
So corruption really isn't the issue then, because he's about as corrupt as they come.
Well, no, I don't think nobody can be as corrupt. No group can be as corrupt as the Democrat Party. I don't think. Look.
Well, you just told me you hadn't heard of a bunch of the things I listed, which are massive examples of corruption in the Republican Party. So you might want to look into that before you make that conclusion.
Well, let me say this. Look, Trump says these little crazy things out of his mouth. But when you look at the history of Joe Biden, what he has done to black people, Trump is child's play. When you talk about the Central Park Five, the hell with the Central Park Five. Joe Biden locked up a United States 1 million. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're talking about the crime bill, but we're not talking about then. We're talking about right now, and what's in most advantage to black folks. I got some folks that want to talk to you on the phone, and I don't want to digress too much. But go ahead.
Hold on before you go to the callers. You're right. That's back then. But have you seen the new crime bill where he's now spending almost $40 billion to mass incarcerate once again? You need to read the new crime bill.
Yeah, I don't know which bill you're referring to.
Safe America Plan. Safe America Plan.
And look, I'm not a Biden stan. There's plenty of things I don't agree with him on, but you're talking about corruption, and you don't see the corruption in the Republican Party?
Well, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I mean,
but you're voting for Trump. You want to turn Chicago red. Red is Republican.
Because I'm pro-America first.
America first is Trump rhetoric. That's a Republican line.
Well, America is corrupt. I mean, let's first look that up. America was built on crime and corruption, and so if you're in a Democrat city, then I would urge you to go red. If you're in a Republican city that's corrupt, then you may have to go blue. But for us, we're not going with this Democrat Party. We don't care about what these so-called black leaders are saying to us because they play a role in it. I don't want to talk about no white racist Republican in Chicago because they don't exist. These are black racist Democrats, white racist Democrats, Hispanic racist Democrats, and it has led to death and destruction in our city.
Okay. I'm just sighing because, supported by what evidence? I have tons of questions for you, but I'm going to go to T from LA first. We'll continue this conversation, Mark. We got time. Mark Carter is my guest. T, you're on.
Yeah. Reparations in memory of our ancestors, Dominique. And, hearing from Brother Mark Carter, I'm happy to hear you on the airwaves. I got an uncle in Chicago by the name of Eddie Reed, so I'm familiar with Mark Carter through, I heard about him through my uncle Eddie Reed. But, Dominique, you were saying that a black contractor called you or something like that, but I don't think we have any black union contractors in Los Angeles.
Oh, we got a few.
I've been in construction for 28 years.
Are you familiar with Second Call?
That's not a construction company.
No, it's not a construction company, but I'm just saying if you wanted to connect with people that were in the space, that would be a place to start.
Yeah. Then the Big John's not a contractor. We don't have any black. We don't have any black contractors, union contractors in Los Angeles. But
I don't. Okay, whatever. We're not going to get into that argument now. T, what's your question or comment for Mark? We're like a minute out of news, traffic, and sports, and we can continue on the other side. T, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. But we're talking about black brothers frustrated about black elected officials that have sold us out. Now I'm looking right here in California with our state reps and this pathetic, watered-down reparations package, and they were touting that California's on the leading edge about reparations, bringing reparations to the forefront. And when you look at this proposed package that Reginald Jones Sawyer, Steve Bradford, Shirley Weber, and the other lady have presented us, I mean, it's a joke.
It's a bunch of lawmakers. It's the Congressional Black Caucus. Yeah, well, you know what, T? Hold that thought. We got news, traffic, and sports. We're talking with Mark Carter. He's trying to make Chicago go red. He's going MAGA in 2024. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Federal authorities are investigating if a group of migrants arrested in Phoenix, Arizona are part of a group that attacked 2 NYPD officers. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents picked up the 4 men Monday at a Greyhound bus station in Phoenix. They are suspected of giving fake names to a church group that organizes bus rides for migrants out of New York City. The father of Kansas City Chiefs star Patrick Mahomes is allowed to travel to the Super Bowl despite a weekend drunk driving arrest in Texas. The judge in Smith County did not impose a travel ban on Mahomes, but he is banned from drinking alcohol. Mahomes Sr., who is African American, was pulled over by police in the town of Tyler and taken into custody on charges of driving while drunk. He's free on a $10,000 bond. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Both of LA's NBA teams ended long road trips with impressive wins last night. The Lakers got a strong triple-double from Anthony Davis to help finish a 4-2 trip. AD had 26 points, 15 rebounds, and 11 assists. LeBron also had 26 points and 7 assists. D'Angelo Russell led the Lakers with 28. The Lakers are home Thursday night against Denver. There's a ton of sparkling numbers for the Clippers. They held on for a 5-point win in Atlanta to cap a 6-1 Eastern road trip. 36 points for Kawhi Leonard, 30 points and 10 assists for James Harden. The Clippers shot 60% from three-point range. They are 19 games over 500 and just a half game behind Minnesota and Oklahoma City for the best record in the Western Conference. Since December 1st, the Clippers are 26-5. They're at home Wednesday night against New Orleans. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Got me a damn girl on my team.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DiPrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DiPrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk Radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Our guest is Chicago activist and MAGA Republican Mark Carter, and we got a lot to cover right here. I do want to mention some breaking news. The court in New York has denied former President Trump's claim that he was immune to any charges to overturn the 2020 election because of being president. It's a unanimous ruling by a three-judge panel. The U.S. Court of Appeals, of course, he could call for a hearing by the full court, and more than likely this will go all the way to the Supreme Court. But this is a pretty major setback for the president, the former president, Mark. Just thinking, and I want to let T complete his question or comment, and then have you comment on it, Mark Carter. But I had to bring this breaking news to the people, and it was just hitting me during News, Traffic, and Sports that you're talking about, the Democratic Party being so corrupt, and so you've gone, you've decided to vote for Trump repeatedly. But one of the reasons you cite is corruption, and this guy that you're embracing is got 91, indictments. I mean, he's definitely corrupt. So I feel like there's more to it than that. But T, go ahead and make your point or ask your question, and let's have Mark address it.
Yeah. So here's my point. In California, we were sold out by black elected officials on the Reparations Task Force. They had meetings all across California, from church to church, from L.A. to Oakland. We told them what we wanted, and part of that was cash payments, cut the check. When they presented their final package, it was basically nothing but they wanted white folks to apologize to them.
Yeah,
so
but that's okay. But that's not fair because it's not a final package. It's a first package of bills, and they don't. It's the beginning. It's not the end. But I agree that it's not super amazing.
All of a sudden, the monetary gifts are left out. So money is off the table.
It's not off the table.
Package.
It's not off the table. It's just not in the first package. It's not off the table.
It's off the table.
No, it's not off the table. T, I hope you'll tune in to Freedman Fridays. But let's have Mark. Respond to that, because Mark, I know you have some thoughts about reparations. Go ahead.
Yes. This man is correct. That task force is compromised. There's no bills on the table waiting to be passed.
There are. That's what T was complaining about. He doesn't like the bills, but they are there. Well, you can't say things that aren't true, though. Yeah, but that's not true.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Let me finish what I'm saying. There are no bills on the table when it comes to illegal immigration. There are no bills constantly being talked to when it comes to these illegal immigrants.
Well, what I asked you about was reparations, and you're pivoting to immigration. Why? Why?
I'm responding because there's no bills on the table to be talked about or discussed when it comes to them. When they walk into this country, they're given these construction jobs. They're given all these different jobs under HR 1909, the Essential Workers Act, right? And even without the Essential Workers Act.
Well, what does that have to do with reparations, Mark?
But you can't have a conversation about reparations without talking about immigration.
Why?
There's no way. because the resources that they're using for immigration are the very resources people are fighting for reparations.
That's a total straw man. The biggest pile of money is the defense budget.
Ma'am.
If you're talking about
the budget has nothing to do with the Treasury Department, first of all. So when you talk reparations,
dollars are dollars.
Dollars
are dollars. I mean, that's a completely fantastical idea that you can't do reparations until you take money, away from or change the policies around immigration. It's something you made up. There's no actual tie between those two in real life.
Well, let me tie it together. Let me show you how it is. One part of reparations is the check.
Of course.
But then there's a second part. There's another part that talks about a plan for sustainability.
There's a lot of parts.
That plan for sustainability. That plan for sustainability. If you look at the Office of New Americans, for example, the Office of New Americans is nothing but the Freedmen's Bureau. The Office of New Americans is
for those not familiar, the Office of New Americans is meant to deal with immigrants in this country. Their policies, things to support them, particularly refugees.
Resources.
Resources. Absolutely. Yeah.
Monetary resources and every other resource known to man. When you look at the Office of New Americans, and Chicago has the first plan.
But what does that have to do with you're saying because it's like the Freedmen's Bureau or the Bureau of Indian Affairs that means it's tied to reparations?
Okay, so what I'm saying, and with the plan for sustainability, you're going to need jobs, contracts, housing, education resources. All those things are tied into reparations. Am I correct?
It could be. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly, when you look at the California proposal, there are recommendations that have to do with all of those areas. So
now, when you look at the immigrant community and under the Office of New Americans, all those things are tied into immigration, right? There is no plan for Black Americans who descended from slavery, like the Office of New Americans, for us. And so when you look at those resources that are being rolled out to these illegals that are walking into this country, that is part of our reparations.
You mean asylum seekers and undocumented? You're kind of lumping everybody together, whether they would be an asylum seeker. You don't care.
Well, first of all, you're not an asylum seeker. If you coming from a country, then you go back to that country after you've made a little money, and you go back and forth back to America. So you're not an asylum seeker. You're not a migrant because you migrate within the country you're from. So there's one other box, and that is illegal immigrant. That's what you are. You're an illegal immigrant, and you must be treated as such. And so we play this game with these words.
So are you pitting Black people against other, people from other countries? I mean, I just don't understand. It's not that I don't understand. You haven't made the case that if all immigrants or illegal aliens, as you like to call them, if they all went away tomorrow, we would automatically get reparations. That's just not true. So I don't. There's no link there for me.
Well, we may not automatically get reparations, but we'll automatically get the resources that our community has been marching for. Hold it now.
That's a fundamental misunderstanding of how capitalism works.
Well, let me say it to you this.
They're just going to start handing Black people resources if the refugees.
They're handing it to illegal immigrants. They're handing it to the illegal immigrants.
You know what? We don't. That doesn't happen in California. Maybe it does in Chicago. But even if it does, show me one instance where where America automatically started handing money and resources to Black Americans, where we automatically got money because somebody else went away. Oh, there's no more Asians. Here's your money. The indentured servants are gone. I mean, I agree with you. We need cash reparations, and we need reparation in all of the areas that the task force has outlined.
You would have no choice, ma'am. You would have no choice but to give these resources to Americans, mainly Black Americans, right? Because there's no other groups to fill these slots. So we've been getting the resources.
Oh, so when there were no other groups to fill the slots, we were enslaved. We still didn't get resources then. No. We had the market cornered.
Not after slavery. After slavery, we were the workforce of America.
Well,
until they
there were
started bringing
Chinese
those,
people building railroad. I mean, I don't want to argue that with you, but
It
what
wasn't
I'm
enough of
not,
'em over here.
you're not effectively making the connection. So let me ask you this:
Well, you're not letting
what
me
is
finish
it?
making the
Well,
connection.
because you're saying things that aren't true.
No, it's definitely
Okay,
true.
finish
So
making
when
the connection.
When you look at when you look at after slavery, our people were the best tradesmen in this country, built this country.
I know
right?
that.
Until they started bringing in the immigrants. Then you had the
Immigrants
Italians,
were
the
already
Irish.
here. They were already
ma'am.
okay.
No.
All right.
Not in large
all right.
numbers.
So
Not even the
so
Chinese.
you think we can turn back the clock to Reconstruction by getting rid of all the migrants and just having black and white workers?
Illegal immigrants. I didn't say migrants. I said illegal immigrants.
Well, okay, whatever you want to call it, whatever your terminology is, if those folks go away, you think that black people will automatically get justice in this country. Do you believe that Donald Trump will give you reparations?
Well, what I do believe is that immigration is going to force reparations to be discussed and dealt with. Because immigration, just like it did to y'all in California, it wiped y'all out in California in places like Thompson and Watts.
No, we're not wiped
so
out. We're still here.
Oh, you definitely wiped out in those places, in those areas. Black people are not.
We're not the majority in Compton anymore. But, I
areas.
mean, but this used to be Mexico. So don't be surprised if you see Mexicans. It doesn't mean we're wiped out. We're thriving. We're black.
We're not
People are.
obligated. I don't care if it was Mexico. We're not obligated to give it back to them.
No, we're not. I'm not arguing
that.
I'm not arguing
Right,
that.
I'm not BIPOC. Listen,
But
ma'am, I'm not BIPOC.
I get all that. We have
black
those
and
conversations
brown.
every day. Will you answer the question? Is Trump going to give you reparations?
Well, he has no choice.
He sure does. He didn't do it last term.
White America has no choice but to deal with the issue of reparations and give reparations. Why? Because immigration is going to force it. It's going to force it.
So
no
let's say
Lincoln.
So let's say Biden gives you reparations tomorrow. Will you switch your vote?
That's not going to happen.
But let's just in a hypothetical.
There are no hypotheticals.
Is party more important, or is the party more important, or the policy?
Ma'am, the Democrat Party was started by immigrants, and it will always be for immigrants. The only thing black people can get from the Democrat Party is welfare, Section 8, and all those begging type programs
So if Biden tomorrow did executive order HR 40 and an ironclad commitment to reparation, you still would vote Trump?
No, I'm saying to you it'll never happen. HR 40
go work with me. They have a flight of imagination. Let's say it did. All kinds of things happen that we never think will happen. Most people never thought we'd see a black president. Okay. All right. Decline to answer.
We didn't see a black president, ma'am. That wasn't a black president.
Well, it was
That's
black to me,
man. That was
baby.
a white man.
Okay.
That
Got
was a
it.
white
So
man.
you're the arbiter. You get to decide who's black and who's not. You have that.
His DNA. His DNA decided it.
All right. Well, we're talking with Mark Carter, and, we've got a couple other folks that want to talk to you. And I want to know, when we come forward, what is your plan? Certainly, we agree on the fact that black folks are at the bottom of the society, that we are pushed over, skipped over, stepped over by government, by institutions, and in the workplace as well. I'm not arguing that. I don't think that, it's really about what you think right now. How you haven't made the connection for me for how demonizing, vilifying, and pushing out other folks raises us up. Talking with Mark Carter's KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Taco Bell just dropped the new Cravings Value Menu. Now you can get 10 items for $3 or less, which means you can get the food you want for the price you want. It's almost like you can have your cake and eat it too. But in this case, it's a double-stacked taco from the new Cravings Value Menu. So basically, you can have your double-stacked taco and eat it too, which is a lot crunchier than cake. The new Cravings Value Menu is here. Get it at Taco Bell today. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations while supplies last. Contact store for price and participation which vary. Tax extra.
It's never been faster or easier to be a voter. Look for your vote by mail ballot in the mail. Fill it in and drop it off at a mailbox on your way to work, on your daily walk, or when dropping the kids off at school. Save time and vote early. Make a plan to vote at plan.lavote.gov. That's plan.lavote.gov. Brought to you by the Los Angeles County Registrar.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
The thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
And we're talking with Mark Carter. He's an organizer in Chicago, an activist, and he is, determined to turn Black Chicago red, or Chicago red in general. Mark, we've got people that want to talk to you, and some stuff I want to try to get to. But I want to let you complete your thought regarding that connection between removing the folks you're referring to as illegal immigrants and the upliftment of Black Americans.
Okay. So when you go back to the early 1900s, when Red Summer happened, Red Summer, most people equate Red Summer to just the Ku Klux Klan. It wasn't just the Ku Klux Klan. Those immigrants that were coming to this country were burning down and killing Black people all over this country. Black people who had built thousands of Tulsa. These immigrants.
Well, I mean, the founding fathers were immigrants too. I mean, all the white people in this country are immigrants. So, Trump is an immigrant. He was Drumpf, and now he's Trump. But you don't mind him. You like Melania. She's an immigrant. I mean, is it just the white immigrants that we like? I'm confused.
No. I'm speaking on the white immigrants.
Okay, so bring me to today, Mark Carter, if you would. Bring me to today.
But
what is your vision? What is your platform? What do you want to happen?
Okay. So if there's going to be a national Office of New Americans, in which there's a national Office of New Americans out of the White House, HR 572. If there's going to be a national Office of New Americans, then damn it, there's going to be a national office for those that are descended from slavery.
Yeah, return. You're talking about the return of the Freedmen's Bureau. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, but
or something similar.
That's part of it. But what we're speaking on right now is you look at the National Office of New Americans. This is HR 572, the bill HR 572. It speaks of everything under the sun going to the illegal immigrant population. And then you look at HR 1308, the New Deal for New Americans. Read these bills. HR 1909, the Essential Workers Act, where all these jobs, construction, landscaping, trucking, meat packing factories, these people are walking into this country and walking right into opportunities that our people have been marching.
Meat packing factories where they work for sub-minimum wage and really highly dangerous, unregulated conditions. That's your dream job.
Yeah, you skipped right over the construction part that I said.
No, I never skipped over that. We started there, and I've said that's been one of the things we're monitoring here in LA. And so, no, I did not skip over it. But what you haven't done is you haven't made the connection for how.
I just did.
No, you didn't. You okay?
I just
so,
did.
So I mean, we could have a Freedmen's Bureau. We could have reparations right now if you just took a tiny slice of the defense budget. If you stopped giving away so much money for foreign wars. I mean, why is it that you just tie it to immigration? Why do you look at the rank and file migrants rather than penalizing those corporations that are utilizing that unauthorized labor?
I'm saying the corporations. I'm saying a part of the defense budget, and I'm saying sending every one of these illegal immigrants back across the border as well. I'm not
including,
here, and we're not
okay.
here to. We're not here to cry for them. They don't have to break their families up because all they have to do when they go back, send their damn kids with them. Take your kids with you.
Amin, real quick. Amin from LA has a comment or a question, real quick.
Yeah. I know who this is really a hot one here, but anyway, go, Mark. I agree with you, man. I know we need to get rid of Genocide Joe. He's going to take us into a world war. You know, he came in lying, saying that Hamas was beheading children, and then that turned out to be untrue. Then he ships all these bombs and bullets and tanks and planes and drones to Israel to kill more children, maybe 20,000 children.
And I mean, you think that Trump will be better?
Yes, absolutely. Could be no
Woo, man, the delusion that's going on right now, the vapors. This.
Look,
I mean, this is for Amin and for Mark. Do you guys know that Donald J. Trump employed what you're calling illegal immigrants to clean his golf clubs at night? Do you know that he used special visas to import Irish white folks to staff the front of his house, the front of his casinos, because he didn't want to put black people there? Do you know that?
Hey, Dominique, genocide is the crime of all crimes.
No doubt.
Genocide is the purest expression of evil.
Okay, got it. Okay, I mean, so you're just really kind of giving amen corner. So, Mark, you want to respond to what Amin is saying?
Yeah. So just as Hitler participated and orchestrated the final solution when it came to the Jewish community, mass immigration is the final solution for black people.
The final solution?
The final solution, yes.
Okay.
No different.
So you believe that people coming here from other countries is going to end up with us in ovens?
No, I'm not saying so much as ovens. It's going to push us out of every opportunity to move forward as a people. And so you don't have to go in ovens to be wiped out, right? And so when you look at the jobs in California, when you look at the contract in California and places like that, black people.
So I mean, it doesn't matter to you if they're Haitian immigrants or African immigrants.
I don't care where they come from: Africa, Haiti, Israel, Poland,
Ukraine,
Asia. I don't care where they come from. Ukraine, wherever they come from, we must be anti-mass immigration. And let me say this to you, Dominique. If you read the Chicago New Americans plan, you will see where all these groups have united. You'll see groups like Africa International House.
I mean, and why wouldn't they? I mean, just like hopefully Black American groups are uniting to fight for our rights, but it's not a zero-sum game. Why do you think it's a zero-sum game?
America.
Why is it a zero-sum game?
America.
Okay.
No, what I'm trying to say to you is, since all the immigrant groups, the Polish, the Africans, the
Polish are not uniting with the Haitians, but okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
Maybe in Chicago.
Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read your plans yet.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I've looked at it, but I haven't looked at Chicago. But Mark, what do you've talked about what you don't want. What do you want? Give us that.
Since Africans and Caribbeans are partnered with the Jewish community, the Polish community, and all of them, then what's wrong with us saying America first and all of us are partnered with one another? It's no different. And so we have to stand up for America first. We don't have tears to cry for a group that we know has plans to do the same thing they did to us in California, in Florida.
We're
in
still
New York,
here. They haven't done nothing to us
Minnesota.
in California.
We're not here to cry for them. Ma'am, we're not here to cry for them, and they don't have to break their families up, because all they have to do when we send the parents out here, you take your damn kids with you so your family won't be broke up. We're not here to cry for them. That's the job of D9 and these Masons and Eastern Stars who wants to be BIPOC and lead the BIPOC movement. We're not BIPOC. We're not black and brown.
Okay, you keep telling me what you don't want. What do you want? We've got a minute.
Well, I just said to you. I said to you that
you want everybody out. Okay.
We're demanding that if there's going to be an office of new Americans, there must be an office for old Americans with even more resources. Okay, that's what we want. That's what we're going to demand, and we see that we can only get that through the Republican Party. The Democrat Party is actively pushing the immigrant replacement plan. They talk about replacement theory. These immigrants coming here is replacement fact.
So you sound you know that's Nazi rhetoric, right? Yeah.
Excuse me?
No, I said that's Nazi rhetoric. We will not be replaced. That's that white supremacist rhetoric.
No, that's black people rhetoric, you know what I mean, who are in America. Okay? See, you speak like black people don't have their own mind to speak. We don't need Nazis to tell us what to think. We taught them how to think. They didn't teach us how to think.
Well, but speaking of talking points, you are actually using white nationalist talking points.
There's not a white nationalist talking points. Those are American talking points.
Okay.
And since we're Americans, we can use the same talking points that other Americans use.
Americans whose goal is our extermination?
Well, that's what these immigrants are here to do.
Okay, Mr. Carter. Well, it's been very interesting, stimulating talking with you. Hope we can do it again.
All right, have a good day.
All right, we're going to meet some candidates and get an update. That's next after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Federal authorities are investigating